Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because the landscape of the New Orleans Saints is shifting right under our feet. We are talking about a pivotal moment that goes far beyond the roster sheet. Breaking news has just hit the wire involving a hometown hero, and the implications for our offensive line are absolutely massive. This is the kind of insider intel that changes the trajectory of the offseason. Before we break down this bombshell, I need you to do one thing. We are on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, so smash that button and join the family right now. Let's get into it.
Let's get straight to the facts, because this is a significant development for the football community in New Orleans. As of this Thursday, February 26th, official reports confirmed that veteran center Will Clapp has formally announced his retirement from the National Football League. This is not just a roster move. This is the end of a chapter for a player who embodies the spirit of Louisiana football. We are talking about a young man who was born and raised right here in New Orleans, a standout at Brother Martin High School who stayed home to dominate at LSU and ultimately lived out the dream of being drafted by his hometown Saints. That is a storybook narrative that very few athletes ever get to experience. After his tenure with the Saints, Clapp went on to battle in the trenches for the Los Angeles Chargers and spent time with the Buffalo Bills, proving his versatility and grit across the league. But make no mistake, his heart has always been tied to the Crescent City. Now, I need you to understand the gravity of this decision. When you look at a guy like Will Clapp, you are looking at the definition of a grinder. You are looking at a professional who understood that the NFL is not a playground, it is a business of brutality. He played the interior offensive line, the most thankless position in all of sports. You don't get the glory, you don't get the commercials, you get hit on every single snap by 300-pound monsters looking to take your head off. And Will Clapp stood in that fire for years. He gave everything he had to this game. He fought for his spot on the roster every single season. That demands respect. When I see a player like this step away, I don't just see a retirement. I see a man who emptied the tank. He did what he had to do. He represented the 504 with pride. But let's look at the timing here. February 26th, right in the thick of the offseason planning. This signals a definitive end to his playing days, closing the book on a career that saw him snap the ball to some of the best in the business. It is a moment of reflection for the Saints organization as well, seeing one of their own draft picks move on to the next phase of life. We often get caught up in the superstars, the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, but the league is built on the backs of men like Will Clapp. Men who show up, put in the work, and do the dirty jobs that allow offenses to function. So we tip our cap to him today. We salute the local kid who made it to the big stage. However, you have to read between the lines in this league. In the NFL, when one door closes, it usually means someone is holding the keys to another one nearby. Retirement announcements are usually final, a ride into the sunset. But there is something bubbling under the surface here that you need to know about. This announcement might seem like an ending, but if you are paying close attention to the whispers coming out of the Saints facility, this might just be a strategic pivot. Why would he announce it right now? What is the next move for a guy with that much football IQ? If you think Will Clapp is done with the New Orleans Saints, you might want to think again, because the word on the street is that his time in the building is far from over. Listen, if you want to stay ahead of the curve with breaking news and raw, unfiltered analysis on the Saints that you cannot find anywhere else, you need to subscribe right now. Don't miss a single update. This is where the story takes a turn that could have massive tactical implications for our New Orleans Saints. Less than 24 hours after Will Clapp announced his retirement on February 26th, the rumor mill is spinning out of control, and the sources are solid. We are hearing strong indications that Will Clapp is heavily touted to join the Saints coaching staff as an offensive line assistant. Let me break down why this is happening and why it matters. This vacancy didn't just appear out of thin air. We lost Jari Evans. The The legendary Jari Evans has packed his bags and headed to the Pittsburgh Steelers to further his coaching career. That is a massive blow. Jari was royalty in New Orleans. But now, the Saints have a hole to fill in that coaching room, and who better to fill it than a guy who just stepped off the field? This is a strategic masterstroke if it happens. Think about it. Will Clapp is a center. Centers are the quarterbacks of the offensive line. They make the protection calls. They identify the Mike linebacker. They have to know the playbook inside and out, better than anyone else on that line. You are taking a guy who has fresh game speed experience and plugging him right into a mentorship role. This is about football IQ. I have said it 1,000 times, you cannot teach experience. Will Clapp knows the modern game. He knows the speed of the defensive tackles in this league right now because he was blocking them just last season. Bringing him back as an assistant is not just a feel-good story about a local kid coming home. It is a calculated decision to bolster the intelligence of our offensive front. We need stability on that line. We need guys who understand the culture of the New Orleans Saints. Jari Evans leaving for the Steelers hurts, I won't lie to you, it stings. But replacing him with a grinder like Clapp, that brings a different kind of energy. It brings the perspective of a guy who had to fight for everything, and that is the mentality we need to instill in our young linemen. The transition from player to coach is never easy, but for a center, it is the most natural progression in the sport. He has been coaching on the field his entire career. Now he just trades the helmet for a headset. This potential hiring signals that the Saints are prioritizing continuity and intelligence. They want guys who bleed black and gold teaching the next generation. It is a bold move, it is a fast move, and quite frankly, it is a move that makes a hell of a lot of sense. But nothing is signed in ink yet. These are the strong rumors circulating immediately following his retirement speech. It connects the dots perfectly. One day he retires, the next day he is linked to the vacancy left by Evans. That is not a coincidence. That is the NFL life cycle in action. But this raises a massive question about the direction of our coaching staff. Are we too focused on hiring former players? Are we too insular? Or is this the secret sauce that builds a championship culture? This decision could determine whether our offensive line collapses under pressure or stands tall when it counts the most.
This is a developing situation that could define the toughness of our trenches for the upcoming season. We are looking at a potential reunion that brings football IQ and local pride back into the building. It is a chess move, not just a hiring. But I need to hear from you. Do you think bringing Will Clapp back as a coach is the right move to fix our protection issues? Or do we need outside blood to shake things up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one of them. This is our team and your voice matters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. We are Saints Football 24/7.